there's one word that describes the Bills bye week. The one word that the one word that describes the Bills bye week is a nightmare. That nightmare of a bye week of Von Miller getting arrested, Sean McDermott's 9/11 speech, and the one article. And, so what? Please watch this. Please watch this video. We're going to react together. We're going to react to this.
Good morning still. So update injury-wise, and I think you guys may have heard this. So Dawson Knox and most everyone will practice in some capacity. Dawson, we'll see how he does today. He's had a good week, I could tell you. So if he continues to progress, there's a good chance he'll play. Kaiir Elam most likely will not be activated. And then Von, I'm sure you guys, Von is looking like he's ready to go from a football standpoint. And that's where we're at.
Is there anything we need to see from Dawson specifically today? Is it like catching, or is it?
Yeah, no, I feel like he's answered a lot of that, like with pads on yesterday and with no pads with the catching on Wednesday. I think he's answered a lot of that. It's just more, let's just continue to take it one step at a time and see how he handles today and how he feels after.
NFL journalist Tyler Dunn has broken a story that back in training camp of 2019, Bills coach Sean McDermott used a
Did you hear that? In 2019. If it happened in 2019, why did they bring it up in 2023? If it happened in 2019, I think somebody want to distract the Bills.
9/11 analogy to try to teach the value of teamwork. Dunn reported, and I quote, he cited the hijackers as a group of people who were able to get on the same page to orchestrate attacks to perfection. McDermott now says he regretted that analogy and moments later apologized for using that reference. He said yesterday, my intent in the meeting that day was to discuss the importance of communication and being on the same page with the team. Yet Dunn reported that in that pre-practice meeting, this is training camp,
Again, I think Sean McDermott shouldn't have said that. But the fact is, he said that in 2019. But I wish Sean McDermott used a different story to inspire the team.
McDermott began asking specific players questions like, what tactics do you think they used to come together? McDermott now says one player questioned the intent of the analogy, couldn't understand it.
I'm lost for words. Sean McDermott could have made up a story to inspire the team. If I wasn't there, I would have told them, is there another story that he could have used appropriately?
When the producers first came to me, it's like, why would even go there in that situation? Why even try to use anything out of that situation and attach it to something positive for your football team? I just don't see it. Let's remember, this is Buffalo, New York. It's Buffalo, New York. Hey? Even if you thought some way you can communicate some way, you can't do it. You shouldn't be doing it. You shouldn't do it at all, but certainly nowhere that ends with New York. If you're in you're in Alaska on some football team talking, maybe we never hear this. I'm surprised we just heard it. I'm surprised we.
Again, he could have used something more appropriate, but this happened in 2019.
Just heard it. Now, you asked me a direct question, Skip. I don't want to evade that question because this will bring about some problems in the locker room. I would first probably get it, hear it, and try to digest it. And so, well, what did I just hear? But what ultimately happened, Key, is I'm.
Ah.
You are 6, I'm not 6. What Duke is like.
Thursday about the situation regarding Vaughn. About probably the similar time that you heard about it. Checked in with his agent, and then obviously with the NFL.
Like I said on my live stream a couple of days ago, in America, you are innocent till proven guilty. We're not going to watch the whole press conference, but we're going to watch part of it. And I will give you my reactions.
Oh, and, as you probably read or heard, there was multiple versions of, what happened. And so there's not a lot that I can say. Vaughn is here. He'll be a part of the team. And, we'll let the investigation and we'll follow the lead of the NFL from that standpoint.
Brandon, are you anticipating?
The Bills are going to be following the lead on this, which is a good thing. Another thing is Matt Arizona. He was accused of sexual harassment and was found not guilty. We released it.
The league was on the exempt list and their own investigation. Have you heard anything to the contrary?
Right now, Sal, we don't expect anything based on our conversations anytime it's an ongoing investigation, if something was uncovered that, the commissioner does have that at any point. If he feels there was something that, hey, this doesn't look good, or
So far, Von Miller is not on the commissioner list.
something like that. If at any point that they could, but with our knowledge of what we have today, we don't expect that.
Brandon, will he be available to play this week?
Yes.
Overall,
Von Miller is going to play this week.
right now he's guilty of just being in the wrong situation they put himself in. What is the disappointment level when you heard about this last week?
Well, listen, you never want anyone in your organization, no matter what organization you're in, to have an allegation like that. That's a very serious nature and something that...
Again, Matt Ariza. Not guilty. So how do we know that Von did it? We weren't there. There's three sides on the Von Miller thing. There's Von Miller's side, the girlfriend's side, and the truth.
We would definitely, we're going to take every precaution with, and culture and character and all those things are super important. But we also have to remember we have to let the legal process play out. And, the guy that we've known here for a year and a half, that seems out of character.
What have your conversations been like with Von that makes you comfortable having him here and having him play 17 months of it?
Well, that's kind of what I just said. The guy that we've known for a year and a half, and who we looked into before we signed him, gives us that. And we unfortunately, we're not investigators, or we weren't present.
I like that point. We are not investigators. We were not there. I am agreeing with everything that Brandon Bain is saying.
Or anything like that. So you just, you have to let all that stuff play out, and we'll follow the lead of the NFL.
Was there a lot of internal consideration to just discipline him by not having him active this week?
You have to let it play out, I guess, is the best way to say. We don't, if you get into, sitting guys or disciplining guys without, the right information, that can be a little bit dangerous too.
Again, Matt Ariza. We lost a real good punter. We released him before we had all the evidence.
What was that last part? I missed that. Is he without disciplining guys?
We weren't there. We're not the investigators. We don't, obviously, we had our conversations with Vaughn and understood, what he believes happened. And so, from that standpoint, we can't get into it. It's an open investigation. And so we'll just, we'll let the legal process play out, and he'll participate like normal in practice.
Brandon, can you quantify the frustration of the 6-6 record at this point? A lot of things are just not really on your way.
We should not have been 6-6 right now. We blew our lead with the Patriots. We blew our lead with the... We blew our lead with the Patriots. We blew our lead with the Jets. We blew our lead with... we blew our lead with... Hold on, I'm trying to think of the team that we blew our lead with.
Yeah, I think I'd be here a while just going through it, Sal. We haven't, it's been different things at different times, whether it's been turnovers, not getting a stop, 10 penalties and a half, whether they were right or wrong calls, they happened. Those are things that, don't allow you to win. And so the long and short of it is that we haven't gotten done as many times as we needed to. But the good news is we're in the thick of it. We're in the hunt, whatever it is. And if you play your best football in December, in January, you give yourself a chance. And so
100% right. If we win out, if we run the tables, we can still make it to the playoffs.
we're not looking in the rearview mirror. We're looking ahead. I know the bye, gave everybody a chance to rest physically and probably as much mentally. And
Watch football all season long, live and cable free with YouTube.
The team meeting that has been brought up. My intent in the meeting that day was to discuss the importance of communication and being on the same page with the team. I regretted mentioning 9/11 in my message that day, and I immediately apologized to the team. Not only was 9/11 a horrific event in our country's history, but a day that I lost a good family friend. And so with that, I'll turn it over to answer any questions you might have.
Just to make sure that I understand this story correctly.
It was mentioning 9/11 in the context of the team meeting. That was the goal of the team meeting, was about the importance of communication and being on the same page as a team.
Are there any other things about the board that you want to dispute or discuss, just since we have you here?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I'm not here to discuss the article that's out there and the things that are mentioned, other than this right here, because this right here is very, very important to me.
You see that? Sean McDermott is taking responsibility.
And something I take very seriously.
Was there a specific reason you made that reference? Why did you decide to use that as the reference that day?
Just awareness around a horrific event more than anything, and a situation that I lost, as I mentioned, a family friend, really multiple family friends. And that was it.
Did you have a conversation with players after that happened? Was there any, did players did they come to you about it? How was that received?
Yeah, what happened more than anything was one player didn't seem to, that I didn't make my point clear enough. And so right then and there, I said, we're getting together as a team and we're talking, and I'm gonna address this with everyone. And that was before practice. So I leave the team meeting, and within, an hour, this is a few years ago, so within an hour, and it was actually at the start of practice, I brought everybody together and said this was the goal, this is the intent, and I apologize if anyone felt a certain type of way coming out of that meeting, right? That if anyone misinterpreted or didn't understand my message, I apologize. I didn't do a good enough job of communicating clearly the intent of my message, and that was about the importance of communication and that everyone needs to be on the same page, ironically enough. And so that was important to me then, and it still is now.
Did you feel like you were able to clarify that point? Did you feel like there was no maybe hard feelings carried over after you felt like you had clarified it?
That's how I felt, and that's multiple players came up to me. Some would said, you didn't even have to do that, and others said, thank you for doing that. And so, like normally happens, there's some people who feel a certain way and some people who, but even if there was one, and that's where it started. And so as soon as I felt that way, that, hey, you know what, I need to go clear this up. And that's what you do. That's to me how you handle things.
You see that, ladies and gentlemen? That is leadership.
And so that's what I did. And I felt that was important then, as I said, and I still feel like it's important.
It's not often that we have coaches who usually they say we don't read the papers or anything like that. Why did you find it important to come out here and give your side of the story on this particular thing? Because usually these things go unaddressed.
I'm aware of the article that's out there, John. I have not read the article. I'm aware that the article is out there. But when Derek shared this particular piece, I said, stop right there. And because this is important to me.
I understand that not everyone in the building might have seen what was in the article that you're addressing now. Did you have to have any conversations with any staff members, players, other coaches, anybody today who maybe weren't here that saw it and felt they needed to address it with you?
As it relates to that, Heather, I do plan on meeting with the team. It is important to me that as I've discussed here, that we are on the same page, and even guys that weren't here, understand how I feel about the 9/11 event. And as I mentioned to the team then, that I regretted and apologized for me not doing a good job of clearly communicating my point. And I'm going to do the same with the team today about when they're done meetings, so that if there's anyone new, that they understand how important it is, and my family, because it's an important event, a horrific event in our history. And I think that's important.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And that is how you do leadership. Sean McDermott, I may not agree with your play calling, but you have good leadership skills. So the Buffalo Bills need to come together after this bye week of a nightmare and turn it of the season of a dream. Thank you for joining me today. If you're watching after the live, please hit the like, subscribe button, and the notification button. I try to go live every day. Subscribe to Spears Bills /Sports Talk. Go Bills!